morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome back to Bariatrics and Beyond, the podcast where we talk about life before, during, and beyond bariatric surgery. On today's episode, we are going to talk to one of our coordinators. Now, listen, she may be the favorite, and it's if you're in the Facebook group, it is plastered all over. So we're going to ask her how do you become the favorite? But first of all, let me introduce you to Angie. Welcome, Angie.
Hi.
So introduce yourself, who you are, where are you from, and what's your background?
I am Angie. I am a bariatric coordinator for EOC.
The
favorite. By the way, just gonna.
We know. Stop rubbing it in.
I'm from Louisiana. I live in Ponchatoula. So that's about 30 minutes from Baton Rouge, 30 minutes from New Orleans, dead center. I'm a past patient of EOC. I had gastric sleeve with Dr. Ortiz. It's probably my second year working here. So I kind of started out a little bit of as an assistant.
Whose assistant were you?
Christine's, just like in the background, like no one really saw me or knew, kind of helped her out during the influx of patients and during COVID and stuff like that. And then I, had an opportunity and came to the front of the house as a coordinator. So here I am.
So when you say Christine, and then also when we say we're like family, it's because like we are actually family.
Mhm.
So we have the beautiful Haley. Haley is Angie's wife.
Yes.
And Christine is Haley's mum.
Yes.
So Christine is your mother-in-law. So you were your mother-in-law's assistant. So for those of you who don't know, we really are family. So there's that backstory. And so, yeah, what made you go, I'm going to give up my career and join EOC?
Well, I kind of already been doing it. Like I said, I was doing it with Christine. So I knew the process. I knew what it was. I knew everything entailed to it. So when Michelle approached me, she sent me one text and it just said, "Are you ready?"
Ooh.
And I didn't know what she was asking of me. And I said, "Absolutely, yes." She was like,
I don't know what I'm ready for, but I'm ready.
Great.
No hesitation.
Great. You start tomorrow. And I'm like, I didn't know if we were burying a body. I didn't know if we.
That's why you're her favorite.
I didn't know what it was.
Down
Ride
for
or die.
anything,
Yeah.
ride or die.
But that's how I got started. And again, I knew everybody. I knew, all the coworkers and stuff. And it was just, I couldn't pass up the opportunity. So
Yeah. What's your favorite part about working for the company?
Oh man. All these amazing trips and experiences we get to do, like all
We're
this
very
with this today, and the reunions and the cruise we're gonna have and like all that stuff. I mean, that's all fun, but truly I really do like helping everybody that we do get to help with the company. So
Yeah, because you're very active on Facebook too. So you're always jumping in, whether it's your patient or not your patient. I
Mhm.
always see you just jumping in, answering everybody's questions.
Mhm.
Is there like a story or a patient or it's not an incident, what's the word? It's something that's just like stood out to you.
Like a situation. Is there any like situation that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few. I mean, you do have patients who kind of go through their journey and they'll reach back out and just say, "Hey, I just wanted to personally thank you, or I wanted to personally send you my updated pictures that, I'm too scared to post on Facebook, or I don't want to post on Facebook." So that being so personal, it really does kind of like touch your heart. I have like a little file actually in my emails that just says, it'll just say like patient thanks or whatever. And I'll save it. And I'll save it. And every now and then I'll go look at it because, it's just nice to know that you help someone and they feel the need to reach back out and thank you. And, even if it's 50 patients, it might be like 5 or something that'll come back and just say, "Hey, I just wanted to personally thank you for that." So
that is very nice.
Yeah. So I got another question. And look, you guys, don't take this as something that you have to do. But I've seen it happen with this one. But patients want to send her gifts. Or they'll say to me, "What can I get Haley?" Or what can I? And I'm like, well, do people do that to you? Or is it like, how does she? Like, how's that?
I think I've had maybe a handful that have been like,
Really?
hey, I'd like to send you something, or can I bring a gift to the hotel for you, or
so
whatever.
nice.
And and I always say it's really not necessary. I
Yeah.
say, honestly, thank you. I appreciate it, but you don't have to, you know? So, but yes, Haley does often get Starbucks gift cards. I don't know if we need to say that out loud.
She does.
Okay,
But-
so I think because I'm with my patients much
You're
longer.
longer.
Yeah.
Because your
sometimes
plastic
a year
surgery.
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. That's
So-
true. But still, you got some sort of charm.
Maybe.
I need to know like your charm, and I need to know like how did you become a girl's favorite? Like that's really what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. But no, it's like it's an ongoing joke because in the Facebook page, like her and Michelle, like it's sickening. Like
Well, you know where it started, right?
I don't. How
Okay,
did it
so
start?
That's what she's getting
So
to.
this is how it started. When you started doing the Facebook Lives
Yeah.
and introducing all the coordinators and everyone who worked here, Haley did hers. Okay. And I asked in the comments, Haley, who is your favorite coworker? Because she works with her mom and me.
That's
and,
right.
and Aubrey actually is one of her best friends who
Mhm.
we also brought on. And you asked her the question and she said, I'm not answering that. I'm not answering. Switzerland. I'm not going to answer.
Listen, I know how to do my cards.
So, so we're going to fast forward to my live. And you said,
Oh.
Angie, who is your favorite coworker? And no hesitation. I said, Michelle.
Yep,
Michelle.
I do remember
She's my
that.
favorite. She signs my checks.
Mm-hmm.
She is fun to be around. She is so genuine.
She
Brings us everywhere we need to go. She
generous too.
Oh,
Generous,
so
kind. all
obviously
that,
she's
yep.
my favorite.
Yeah.
So that I became her favorite.
Honestly, I'm gonna give you that. That was good.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
was
that
well
was
played.
good. Actually, can I? Speaking of well played. Okay, this is kind of off topic because I want to talk about your weight loss journey, but again, derailing. One of our girls' trip this time last year, we all went to the Bahamas,
Uh-huh.
right? And we had a Survivor game,
Mm.
right?
Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
And we were
yep.
prepped about Survivor because Michelle puts on these like elaborate, like just it's nothing is just we're going on vacation.
Nope.
Like there's always a theme. We had the Survivor game, and she's like, if you haven't watched Survivor, watch it, figure it out, start planning now. And
This was team building, I think.
it was
like
100% because I still always think about
we set an alliance. Like Kayla and I set an alliance before the game started. We're like, hey, even if we're not on each other's teams, we gotta
Look out
stick
for each
together.
other. Right.
Yeah.
did. We made it to the end.
They did.
But
Wow.
can I tell you, she went against her wife. I went against my sister.
She voted him off the island.
I did.
And I voted
I was
my
like,
sister up
I did.
because I was like, I got to save Angie. And she's like, I got to save.
Yeah.
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 And people questioned it. Like, because,
Mhm.
you do the whole, like, well, why did you do that? Why did you
Uh-huh.
save Kayla when she could have got voted out? And I was like, we had an alliance.
Yeah.
Like,
She's
yeah.
like, but your wife. And I was like,
Mm-mm.
blood? No,
Like,
this was an alliance over.
Yeah.
This was this. Yeah. That was wild. And the thing with that game as well, when we were voting people, we're being recorded, right?
Yeah.
And you got to like, it was a legit like the
Yeah.
show.
show.
And
Michelle did it very
she
well.
did it so good.
Yeah.
And like you have to hold up who you voted for and why, right?
I would have
Then-
loved to see your face when you seen Angie.
So another thing about it is that I had been messing with it the whole time. I was like, I'll vote you off in a second.
Yeah,
Don't
she was
mess
mean to
with
me the
Yeah.
whole
Don't mess with
time.
me. I'm not scared to vote you off. And then all of a sudden, I was like, wait.
Because we played it right. But my sister was like, I'm your blood. She got mad. She's like, I'm your blood. Like, I'm ride or die for you. And I'm like, we didn't have an alliance, bro. Like, come on. Like, she's like, we are blood. That is the alliance. I'm like, nah, not really. And then after Angie ended up winning,
Yeah.
well, yeah, because it was like it come to like a split thing.
Yeah.
And Angie ended up winning, well deserved. And so later on that night, they freaking play the video of who everyone voted for. So like, because just after all the like animosity died down, it was like, well, here's the video,
Yeah.
and then everyone was like, oh, God, Colleen's seen that I said that. Like,
It was like confessions.
It was confessions. It
I
was
was like,
hilarious.
oh my God, what are they gonna play? Please don't play. Oh damn. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Colleen and Carissa hate me. You know what I mean? It's just, but I was like, it was so fun.
All part of the game.
Oh yeah, but honestly, like, yeah, we do have some really good moments.
Yes.
Obviously our job is so rewarding because of moments like this and
Mhm.
getting to meet patients. But like outside of that, we are a family. Like we really, really are.
Yes.
And I love that about we're just so lucky about that. So now let's rewind. Your weight loss surgery. So you said you had the gastric sleeve with Dr. Ortiz. What year was that?
2019.
Okay, so can you share your journey like leading up to it? What triggered you to want to have weight loss surgery? Yeah.
So honestly, it was Haley.
Oh.
Yeah. Haley had weight loss surgery first. Rewind. Christine had weight loss surgery first. And then she was like, Haley, you have, if you want to do this, you should go. And so Haley went. And even then, when she told me she was going to Mexico, I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I didn't know medical tourism was a thing. Like, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you have to go. She said you're going to have a great time. The experience is unmatched. And I was like, okay. It didn't take much persuasion.
Yeah,
But that's what she said. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna go. Then I'm gonna go do this. So kind of all it really took for me to be convinced to go have weight loss surgery.
Nice. But how heavy were you? And was your weight like a really big like factor?
Yeah, I was 250 at my highest. And it was starting to cause like problems. Like I couldn't like I was short of breath and I was tired all the time. And my mind wanted to like do things. Like my mind was like, why am I so tired?
Yeah.
Why can't I move?
Yeah.
Like, and then clothes wouldn't fit and uncomfortable in pictures. And she could tell that like I was just getting depressed and I wasn't happy with myself. And it was kind of making me miserable, So she was like, I really think you should do this. You're gonna have a good experience. So that's why I did it. And actually what convinced me to actually go on full with the surgery too was I started a job. And I didn't have benefits yet. I had to be there for 1 year to have like FMLA and everything. I started having gallbladder pain. So I worked for months with gallbladder pain. And I was like, Haley, I need to have surgery for my gallbladder. Like, and she's like, just go get it done at one time. And I was like, oh man, but I never had surgery before. So I was like, okay. Well, so that kind of pushed me to get it done sooner. So, Christine was my coordinator.
Yeah.
Shocker. But I asked her, like, can he remove my gallbladder? And she was like, yeah, you have gallstones. Like, let's get it out. And he actually did gastric sleeve, gallbladder, and I had a hiatal hernia repair.
Oh, you did the trifecta.
3 surgeries in one. Yeah. And he was so sweet about it. He was like, did you know that, your gallbladder was pretty bad? And I said, I know. I went so long because I couldn't like get into surgery because I didn't have the benefits I need, and I just think that's so sad. Like in the US that I could have been, I was suffering, So that really pushed it too, to get it done quicker.
Right. Yeah. So talk to me about like the pre-op diet for you. Was that hard?
It was making better choices and it wasn't hard. It was just like, oh man, I gotta eat chicken.
Especially in Louisiana.
Yeah.
We have good food in Louisiana.
I mean, it was, I modified it. I did what I had to do. It's a temporary thing.
Yeah.
It's not your favorite thing to do, but it's not the worst thing ever.
No,
so
true.
I didn't really struggle too much with the pre-op diet. It was pretty straightforward.
So talk to me about being from Louisiana and around all these like tempting foods. Like how did you change your eating habits and your eating style after having weight loss surgery?
Well, I tried to stay away from the fried foods, stay away from the greasy foods.
We did. We cut out everything fried. Everything.
We do, New Orleans is known for like seafood boils and stuff. And that's still fine.
That's still good.
I mean, you're still getting your shrimp and, you have crawfish and
good protein.
Yeah. So, and crab was actually a go-to for mine.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, yeah.
Mine was crawfish.
Yeah.
That was my first meal when I was able to eat
crab
it.
was my first like meal that I had. And I was like, oh, good. You got the spice from the boil and I still was able to enjoy all of that.
Right.
So
do you have any like food aversions now? Like, how people can't eat this or can't eat that? Like, was everything still kind of the same?
About a year less than the post-op, I kind of had like where things would sit a little too heavy for me, like steak and ground meat and
Oh, yeah?
red meat. It was red meats. chicken for a little bit, I had to ease myself into it. So I did have to gradually make my way there. But now I can pretty much eat whatever I want in moderation. So
I would probably say that was the hardest for me too. Meats.
Yeah.
Red meats for sure. Like even still now, red meats.
And bread. Bread was a little hard, like, first getting into it. So, but after a while, you kind of eat slow, chew. You start learning, like, the proper way and better way to eat things.
Right. And so, did you face any challenges through your either like pre-op, post-op, or?
The only challenge that I kind of had, the pre-op was okay. I didn't really have any issues with that. Post-op, I had trouble getting water intake in. And I think it was kind of because of like the hernia repair too.
Gotcha.
I couldn't drink like big gulps of water, like, and I would have to like, man, I really like, I don't want to get dehydrated.
Yeah.
So I have to like clock my drinking. So I would like try different things. I would try the additives, the water, do, alkaline water or warm, cold versus cold. And I actually, had to do like an IV, like an IV bar, like hydration. So and that was pretty much like right out of post-op.
Oh,
that I
okay.
had to do that.
Yeah.
So, but after that little hump, I was fine.
Right. So after like you got through the post-op diet, it was just kind of like trial and error of what you like and what you
did
can
really well
tolerate.
with everything.
Yeah, no, I never had vomiting. I never had nausea.
Nope.
I never had none of that at all.
What about, have you ever trusted a fart and it wasn't a fart? Come on. You have to tell us. Tell us.
Honestly, no, I've never had
You've
that.
Never.
You guys have never sharted?
No. If I feel like it's a close call, I'm going to the restroom.
Yes, same.
I'm just gonna play it safe.
it.
Yeah.
Play it safe.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, no, I'm fine.
Like, no way.
Last year,
Oh,
I got betrayed last year. I'm like, wait, I'm 6 years post-op. This is like, what on earth?
So we'll never say never then, right?
Right.
Yeah, seriously, never say never. And I was on my way to the gym, and I was like, oh, about what?
What was that?
It was a toad.
Stepping on a toad. And I had to go change my gym outfit. I was just like,
Oh my
wow,
gosh,
that's what they mean. Because like,
I'm so sorry.
no, because I think I've got an iron stomach. Like nothing ever affected. Like when you guys say like the meats and you say like the ground meat, I'm like, that's so light for me. Like to eat ground meat was like a breeze. Like I had nothing, no issues. So I was like, that's not going to happen to me. Well, like I said, never say never. So Ange, how has your life changed since having weight loss surgery? Like, what are some of your favorite like non-scale victories?
I'm able to like do more now. I love outdoors.
Yeah.
I love energy things like roller coasters and hiking and kayaking and fishing and swimming and all that stuff. And now I'm able to do them with ease and actually enjoy it. So
yeah, that's what I love about you too. You're always doing something freaking fun. And like I hate that I don't live in the same state. I hate that you don't live in Vegas, to be honest.
That's what it is.
Because like every weekend they're either like on a boat or it's
we are very active.
you guys do so much, and it's so admirable, honestly. And even as like a couple, I'm like, you guys are couple goals. Like you guys are like for real. I'm like, I just want that like what you guys have. Like you guys have fun. You guys like you're protective. You're you know what I mean?
you have to live for the moment.
You do.
You gotta take it every opportunity. We don't miss an opportunity. Like if
it.
there's something presented to us, we're like, yeah, we're gonna do it because you only live once.
And that's what I love about you guys. I really do, because I always know that like, okay, Haley and Angie are gonna be down.
Yep.
And I just turned 40 like over Christmas. And my sister was like, oh, what do you want to do? Like we go here, we go there, and and figure out who do you want to invite over. And like I've got lots of different pockets of friends. Like I've got like my pinup friends, or I've got my cosplay friends, or I've got my neighbor friends, and I've got my best friends. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, thinking about inviting all those different pockets of people together was kind of like, oh, I don't know. So I was like, I don't want to do anything. She said, well, who do you want to spend it with? And I'm like,
Everyone.
love. Like, I wish I could just been like my girls. Like, I just feel like you girls are like my family. You know what I mean? Because it's like we're beyond. I feel like we're beyond like just like the friends. And like we're more of a family. So I'm like, I just wish I could have just spent it with you guys.
I agree.
You know
we
what
feel
I
the
mean?
same.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we didn't work remotely and we like worked in
No.
cubicles? We would never get anything done.
Nothing. I always see those memes. I think I sent you guys that TikTok and it was like, there's this one boss and she's like, the boss created like a mini village.
Yes.
Right. And I was like, if we had office cubicles, this is what Michelle would do for us. Like everyone had like a completely different, like their office looked like a different house. And like there was like grass and like it looked like an outdoor, it looked like a neighborhood, but like inside I was like, this would
like
totally.
tiny homes.
It was like everyone had like a little tiny home village. Like it was their office cubicles. And I was like, this would be us. But we would be very productive. We wouldn't, I think. I don't know. Because at the same time, I feel like when we do get together, like magic happens. You know what I mean? Like I do think we definitely create some really, we have some great ideas. Some not some great ideas either. You know what I mean? It's like some flop. But for the most part, I feel like we have some really good ideas. So Ange, as a coordinator, what advice would you give your future patients or like the biggest mistake you see people making going into this process?
Not doing it sooner.
Okay.
Right? Like I see all the time people say they regret they didn't get it done sooner. Just if you're willing to reach out to us, that is the biggest step. And I say that is 90% of the battle is that mindset of just asking for help. And if you've gotten this far and if you got a surgery date, you're golden. Just follow the process and do it. Don't wait because you have your whole life ahead of you. And this will just bring so many more opportunities to your health. And that's what I say. And then after you have the surgery, don't compare your progress to others. Everyone is different. Any small scale victory, that is a progress. And you know, people try to say, well, I didn't lose this much and I didn't want to lose this much. And it's like, you will. You know, everybody has a battle, rather it's your hormones or genetics or diabetes or high blood pressure. Let it work for you.
Give it time.
Take your time.
Patience.
Yes, and patience. And that's what I gotta say.
I think with weight loss surgery, people expect it to they expect to lose like 50 pounds in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like they expect it to be quick. And it's just like, just have patience, give yourself grace, follow the steps, you'll be fine. So Ange, from a coordinator standpoint, you know, there's a process. You get a bunch of inquiries, you send them the application. Do you get most of those applications back, or do you think a lot of people just sit on the application and never return it? And then the ones that do return it, like how soon do they be like, I'm going to book? You know, like, because I feel like as the further the process goes, the people drop. And then they get to the final end and it's like, okay, we'll leave your deposit and, you know, and then they back out. So like, explain how like the waves of that.
It is a wave. And it's everybody is different. You have people who apply and put in their application and I send their approval and they send me a date and they come. I have people that say, I want to come as soon as possible. Or you have people who put in the application and, you know, so things are whatever they need to do. They might want to just see the process. They might just want to check out the diet or save money. That's fine. And they'll sit on it and then they'll come back years later.
Yeah.
And I mean, what you said, you were 4 years you waited or watched us for 4 years?
I researched the program for 4 years.
Yeah.
I went to my trip in November of 2022. And then I came back. When I came back from that trip, I reached out and I had everything booked and paid. And I scheduled for February because that was the soonest.
So there's no perfect equation. It's either they're ready or they just need some time or they just need some reassurance of like, I just wanted to know if it's possible. I wanted to know if I medically apply, you know, and so And the people who come back years later, they kind of act like they didn't skip a beat. They just come back and say, "Hey, I'm ready for my date now."
Yeah. They reply to me,
and I'm looking like from 2022. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Let's get you started. First, let's update this.
Are you still 25?
But it's great. It's great. And even taking that step, at least you took it, and I commend you for that. Because there's the people who don't even make it to that point.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that is very true. So any advice you want to give anybody out there listening? And can you just also just run over and explain like how easy the approval process is?
Oh, very, very, very easy. I mean, as soon as you reach out to one of us, whether it's on the website or the hello at eliasortiz.co, someone is going to reach out to you. A coordinator is going to send you information. Go over that and read everything. Read it all, because you're going to get frequently asked questions. You're going to get an invite to the Facebook and join the Facebook group. There's so many tips on there. There's so many patient testimonies on there. There's so much progress. Like, people talk about the diet and what to expect, and people share pictures. You know what to expect when you come with us. Your videos, all of our social media. You'll see the hospital. You'll see the hotel. You'll see Dr. Ortiz. And I always tell people to do that and go to our social media and to see what it is. Don't let me convince you.
Yeah.
Right. So
leave that to Kayla.
So
here's a link to our TikTok.
So as soon as you reach out to us and you send back the application, I immediately send that to Dr. Ortiz. His team looks at it. He looks at it. Nurse Cindy will look at it. They'll send it back to me, and I will send you back your approval and the recommendations of what he recommends in your diet, and what medications do you need to stop, and the timeline. Like, you're going to fly into San Diego, and just further instructions. So always read that, and that is going to streamline the process to get you started. And then from there, you tell me how quickly you want to come, or if you need time, and that's perfectly okay. This is no rush. So pretty much you can get approved in less than 24 hours.
Right. And then if someone wants to book surgery, how far out can they book? Like, if they want to come like as soon as they're available, but then like how far out?
They say 2 years.
2 years.
We just need to know of your updated medical information.
And I think and then the people that need those 2 years, it more than likely it's like financially.
Usually,
because everyone wants to just get it done now, but no, we all don't have an extra however many $1,000 laying around. So that's also like a really good option to get your mind right and get the wheels in motion, is just like set that date. And then it doesn't have to be paid right away. You just pay it as you go over time. And it's almost like a piggy bank almost.
Like
you know what I mean?
Savings account.
Yeah, but like exactly. It's like
an investment account.
Yeah, because if you like try and tuck it away yourself, there's no intent behind that. You know what I mean? Like, so at least get those wheels in motion, and then get that sort of like, okay, well, this is happening now, even if it is further down the track. You know what I mean?
It's almost like so the way that, like, because I had to do this for my other surgeries, but like I took it as like, just like I tithe my church. I was just sowing another seed into my life, So it's like, it was just, like, okay, well, this is a bill, because I know by planting this money into this account for me to be able to reach that next goal is an investment to my future, just like it is sowing a tithe into a church.
Yep. Awesome. It's so true. It's so true. So just get on it, really. And the process is easy. And once you are assigned a coordinator, you're with them the whole way. You know what I mean? And then when they get to Mexico, then
we can communicate as much as you want, or as least as you want. Some people say, hey, I want you to call, I want you to text, I want you to email. We'll talk to you however you need to. It's very easy. I mean, some people enjoy calling. Some people are callers, and that's perfectly fine. Let's have a conversation. I always say, let's schedule it whenever you're available, and we can do that. Some people prefer texting. It's totally okay.
Well, that's, like, I know, like, I think we were talking about that a little bit before. Like, you have your patients who are probably auditorial, so they need to hear it all. And then you have patients, like me personally, I'm visual, so don't call me, because I'm unless I'm writing it down, I'm going to forget, And so, like, I need to see it. I need to be able to go back and read it. I need to be able to, I need to see it. I need it in black and white.
I need a phone call.
You do?
I need a phone call. Yep. I need to talk to you about it, because I hate typing. B, I'm a talker. And then also I feel like your vibe also, like if you're like short or whatever, I need to feel that. I need to feel hugged. You know what I mean? Like I just want to feel that like, oh, this is cool. Like, yeah, like I feel a good energy around that. So I'm definitely like a talker. Okay, and last one before we go, because we're going to Adventure Dome, so we need to get rolling. But as a couple who have had the surgery together, and Haley, you actually were just featured in the New York Post.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yes.
So talk about financially how it saved you guys money over time, like to now have a talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, now we save money on food just in general, grocery bills.
Yeah.
I mean, we meal prep mostly like during the week. And then if we do go out to eat or whatever, we share.
Yeah.
And we eat on that meal for days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
those curly fries.
We were saving like we were saving about $300-$400 a month alone.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to buy the volume of food. anymore.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess like as a couple, like you would notice it a lot more as well. You know, because it's just you two in the house. You don't. So like it would cut your grocery bill.
The dogs cost more to eat than we do.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. And then so let me get like a couple advice, because you guys are, accountability partners. What we do see a lot of couples coming and doing surgery together, which is so cool. I love that. So any advice for couples? And to like be support systems and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, just support one another in general. I mean, honestly, and I mean,
you have to be each other's biggest fan.
Yeah.
And then so if you don't have a supportive partner, I feel like it is a lot more difficult to be successful, especially if you're trying to do one thing and they are not at all.
Yeah.
That is difficult. So even if your partner doesn't get the surgery or any type of weight loss issue at all, it is so helpful to have somebody that is your biggest fan and on your team and rooting for you to do good.
Yeah.
And so that's how we
just make healthy choices together.
Yeah.
Really.
Be accountable. Because everyone's journey is different and it's not linear.
Right.
How did you guys have times where like maybe Angie would lose more than you, and like
Angie,
how did you deal with that?
Her weight came off so fast.
Really?
And stayed off. Yeah. I did not. I mean, like mine was slow and I had regained.
But again, it's just wild to see how everyone's body is
and
different.
we were like eating the
same
same
thing. Yep.
Yeah. So
that's a perfect example of like just don't compare yourself.
Yeah.
Especially men and women. Men drop
Can you
weight
imagine?
like they don't drink a soda.
It's so easy. Well, I don't want to say so easy but it is easier for them, I feel.
But
men. I feel like that's a genetics thing too.
Sorry to all the men out there.
We love our male patients.
We do. We do. Actually, our male patients, I feel like they're on the up. They're on the up and up. We're getting a lot more coming through. I feel like they're more active on social media than a lot of our women are.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with like where like men are external, so it's like they don't really feel it. They see it, like because they're like they have like that external, whereas women are more internal. We feel it, we see it, and it's like we, a lot of with men especially too. It's like, well, I don't care who sees me, whereas women, it's like we hold on to that,
and
like
worried.
Like I'll show my best friend, but I'm never posting this,
On Facebook,
and I think that could be why.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
That is a good point. But yeah, there's always like I don't know if we can say it on the podcast, but there's a comment from the men, and they're like, because I think I asked a question in the Facebook page because I like to ask interactive questions, and it was like, what was like the biggest surprise? And then someone the other day said it was surprising. The more you lose, the more you gain.
Yeah. Yes.
So let that think about that. Let it kick in. But so yeah, I mean, it's a win-win, I guess, for everyone involved, all parties involved. All right, on that note, we are delusional. We're getting out of here. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Bariatrics and Beyond. Thank you for my out-of-town Louisiana girls. Love having you here. We need more people to come in the studio, and we need to do this more often. So come. If you're in Vegas, you let me know. We want to have you on the podcast. But we'll catch you next week on Bariatrics and Beyond. Bye, guys.